From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, April 13th, 2021. Welcome to today's Practitioner Brief. I'm your host, James Azar. We have a lot of great stories to talk about today, but before we do that, we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification to get noticed every single day when we go live at 9 a.m. here on the show, Monday through Thursday. If you're listening on your favorite podcast listening platform after the fact, please subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, helps push us up in the ratings. We've got a lot of things to talk about today, including the financial industry 36-hour breach notification that's about to get through Congress, a Joker malware, Iran trying to lure Israelis to kidnap them, U.S. blacklisting 7 Chinese supercomputers, and the White House fills the NSA and CISA roles with 2 very exciting nominations. So we'll get to all of that on today's show. So you can subscribe as we are live right now here. Yesterday, I had to do this on my own LinkedIn page because of a technical difficulty that's now been resolved. Obviously, we're back on the CyberHub podcast LinkedIn page where you can subscribe to watch the Practitioner Brief. Today's podcast is supported by our friends over at KnowBe4, Wistic, and Ativo Networks. Make sure to check them out in the show notes and see how they can help you increase your cybersecurity posture. Now for our ceremonial sip of coffee today. I want to say cheers to everyone. My usual double espresso, Pete's Coffee again. I love Pete's. I'm a big fan of Pete's Coffee. So with that, cheers. All right, now let's get right. Whoa. So glad the show is live because you guys get to see me do this and mess up and fix myself. Apologies. Here we go. The financial industry is prepping for a proposal that would require a 36-hour breach notification. A milestone date for an ambitious federal banking industry cybersecurity regulation that debuted towards the tail end of President Trump's administration has nearly arrived. Yesterday marked the deadline for comments on an initial proposal that would mandate how a wide range of financial firms would need to report more kinds of cyber incidents to regulators within 36 hours. That's a more stringent timeline than our European counterparts, which require a 72-hour. In America, we make things either very, very one way or the other. The relatively quick notification requirement generated most of the attention within the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the FDIC, and the Treasury Office of Comptroller of the Currency when they announced the rule in December. It's expected to receive significant blowback from the financial services industry as an overly aggressive demand. It is overly aggressive. So here's the thing with this. As someone who works in fintech, I don't know what I'm dealing with 36 hours in. I don't know what I'm supposed to report. I don't know what I'm supposed to report 72 hours in some cases. So this is the idea of people who don't know what they're talking about putting together rules. Please, we understand the need to disclose. We want to disclose, but we need a better wrapper to do it. And I urge the folks over on the Computer Security Incident Notification Requirements for Banking Organizations Committee to please get with us practitioners. Don't talk to the vendors, okay? A lot of vendors are very good-spirited people who really care, but talk to the practitioners. We'll give you the real insight in how it's practically impossible to know what we're dealing with 36 hours in. Something to keep an eye on, folks, if you're in fintech and financial services, something significantly to keep an eye on. We'll move to our next story today where the Joker malware is infecting over 500,000 Huawei Android devices. So more than 500,000 Huawei users have downloaded from the company's official Android store application infected with Joker malware that subscribe to premium mobile services. Researchers have found 10 seemingly harmless apps in the app gallery that contain code for connecting to malicious command and control servers to receive configuration and additional component. They've been masked by essentially functional apps, and you can see these apps right here. There's a list of them on the Bleeping Computer website as well. These apps have been removed. However, if you've downloaded these apps from the Huawei store and they're on your device, you need to do the manual removal process. I'd urge you to delete them, back up your device, wipe it, reload it, just to be sure. Again, something very significant. Yesterday, we talked about how it was alleged that Israel attacked the Non's nuclear facility. Today, that's been confirmed. Israel has now officially confirmed that they were behind the cyber attack on the Non's facility in Iran. The Israeli spy agencies yesterday accused Iran of using fake social media accounts to try to lure citizens of the Jewish state abroad to either harm or abduct them. The Israeli claim came hours after Iran accused them of celebrating an attack, orchestrating the attack on the nuclear site, and vowed revenge. A statement from Israel's domestic security agency, the Shin Bet, said it was international intelligence service Mossad uncovered a method by which Iranian intelligence operatives used fake Instagram profiles of women seemingly engaged in business and tourism to target Israelis. Operatives would use the profile to reach out to Israelis with international business contacts and try to draw them into romantic or commercial meetings in countries around the world, the statement said. The Israeli intelligence organizations were genuinely concerned that Iranian activities could lead to attempts to either harm or abduct Israelis in those countries, noting that a similar tactic was used by Iran against regime opponents in Europe. An Israeli official speaking on condition of anonymity told the AFP that there were at least one case in which a citizen who left for a foreign country in order to conduct a meeting after being in touch with a suspicious social media account. That person was warned by the Israeli intelligence services and returned home. Again, significant. They're targeting civilians here. But if you work in Israel, what this shows you is how Iran is trying to social engineer their way in there. But this is also very true within our organizations. We see this often on LinkedIn. I get these spam messages all day long, someone trying to lure me for a business conversation, a job offer, a job interview, anything of that sort in order to gain information, gain espionage, something very worrisome and something we need to be paying attention to. The U.S. blacklists 7 Chinese supercomputers entities. The Commerce Department cites national security concerns. The crackdown on China continues, where national security concerns, where the U.S. Department of Commerce this week placed 7 Chinese supercomputer organizations on the entity list, which effectively bars them from receiving supplies or components from American companies. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo notes that the high-performance computing technology developed by these entities could be used in weapons of mass destruction programs. Supercomputing capabilities are vital for the development of many, perhaps almost all modern weapons and national security systems, such as nuclear weapons, hypersonic weapons. The Department of Commerce will use the full extent of its authority to prevent China from leveraging U.S. technologies to support these destabilizing military modernization efforts. I salute you, Commerce of Secretary. I do. Gina Raimondo, well done. This is a great effort. Again, we need to curb China. China is a real threat. These folks are on the verge of trying to invade Taiwan. We have to be rough. And China does not understand diplomacy. China only understands power. If you study Chinese culture, you understand that they're trying to save face. They have an agenda, and they will take any sign of weakness as an ability to muscle themselves in, like they did to Hong Kong. Folks, time to stand up to the Chinese. Well done. These 7 entities that are now been essentially banned and blacklisted is the, you see all the names right there: Sunway Microelectronics, the National Supercomputing Center in Jinan, Shenzhen, Wuxi, and Zhengzhou, and the Shanghai High Performance Integrated Circuit Design Center, and the Tianjin, I think that's Fidium Information Technology. We are in the purpose of really trying to muzzle in China and get them to be a responsible world player from a cybersecurity perspective, also from a tyranny perspective Don't forget the Uyghur Muslims there. I know this has very little to do with cyber. This has to do with cyber, but everything else has to do with a behavioral issue that lets us know that if we don't nip these things now, we could be looking at a battle already lost. And our final good news for today, the White House does nominate NSA veterans Chris Inglis and Jen Easterly as National Security Director and CISA Chief. How exciting. So the position has not been filled in CISA since Director Krebs essentially was fired by then President Donald Trump. President Biden yesterday picked two veterans of the NSA, Chris Inglis and Jen Easterly, for senior cybersecurity positions at the White House DHS. Biden intends to nominate Inglis as the National Security Director and Easterly as the Director of DHS's CISA. The White House said in a statement, both positions are subject to Senate confirmation. Senate will likely confirm both of these folks. They're highly qualified to do their job. It's great to see Jen Easterly join and lead CISA. She's done some amazing work over at the NSA, and she'll definitely be an asset to CISA as now they get more funding, and they're going to get really good leadership at that as well. Easterly's charge will be squarely focused on bolstering the defenses of the federal networks, which were blindsided by the suspected Russian operation. Can we please add Chinese cyber scoop? Come on, man. You guys know better than this. We know that China was involved in this. Don't leave him out. All right. Easterly, who's a former Army intelligence officer, deep experience in offensive and defensive cyber operations. For the last 4 years, she's been running Morgan Stanley's Cybersecurity Fusion Center, which monitors for criminal and state-affiliated hacking threats to the financial giant. So some great moves there as well by the White House. So a few things to look at. One, the 36-hour proposal. You should write your senator, write your congressman, and let them know, like, this is just not practical and something we need to definitely address. And we'd love to all go and speak about it. The blacklisting of 7 Chinese companies in the supercomputers and the new leadership in CISA and NSA should really help out tremendously over the next several years as we deal with these cyber threats. It's great to see good leadership being put in place. So with that being said, folks, that's it for our practitioner brief today. We'll be back with a lot more tomorrow. Until then, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to share. And most importantly, folks, stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.